here, sit down. Someone who doesn't choose you cannot be for you. And I know this sounds cliche, I know you've heard it before, but it's the truth. Someone who is not choosing you is not for you. So if that person who you are chasing and you're sending good morning texts to and you're sending good night texts to and you're trying to be all cute and you're trying to organize dates and plan time and move time because they're too busy to see you, let them go and focus on finding someone who's good for you. You need to stop putting all of your faith, your trust, your dedication, your time into everyone else except you, because we are human beings. We are going to let each other down. We are going to mess up and we are going to do things that are going to hurt each other. And you don't even know if you can trust everyone in your life. I'm not saying that you need to be cynical and you need to stop trusting everyone in your life. But what I am saying is that you need to take care of yourself so that you are okay being who you are and you are okay. At some point, you would have to be by yourself. Stop being so trusting towards everyone and start remembering that you yourself need to be okay too. Stop expecting everyone to fix all your problems, to be there whenever you have problems, and to make or break your life, and be someone who can make or break your own life, because it's your life. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Funniest thing about women is this: women will only hate men as long as they are single, bitter, miserable, and have no good man in their life. A lot of the times when women say things, they say it out of emotional places and not out of actually reality and what they truly think. They think they hate men because that's how they feel, not because they actually hate men. Soon as they have a good man in their life, they're gonna change their minds and they're gonna be all over the new guy in their life who they're obsessed with. Men don't ask women about their previous relationships because they're jealous or because they want to compare themselves to their ex. At least not fully and not completely why. Men usually ask because they want to know how loyal you are as a woman and they want to know why that last relationship ended. They do not want to invest their time and energy into a woman who's not going to be good for them. It's not because he's jealous or he's trying to figure out if he's better than your ex or if you like him more than your ex. He's trying to figure out for himself if you are a good investment or not. You want to know if a woman likes you or not? It's very simple. You just need to do this. Ask her to hang out and tell her how specific it is so that she knows it's just going to be you and her. And based on that response, you will know whether or not she's into you as well. Basically, if she says yes, and then you'll have your answer. And if she gives you excuses as to why she can't see you, even if she says things like, oh, I'm working and like, I don't know, or I might be tired, she doesn't like you, okay? Because women who like a man will wait for them to initiate. And once they have initiated, they will either cancel their plans to be with that man, or they will at least say, hey, I can't do then, but can we do this time instead? Or can we reschedule for then because, you know, I'm working? Or they're not going to leave you hanging and waiting for you to ask again. So if you're not sure if she likes you or not, that's how you're going to know. Men, here's my biggest word of advice for you. If you start to like a girl, okay, do not get ahead of yourself and do not make her the center of your life. She's just a woman. She's not your make or break. She's not the only thing that's going to define you in your life. I know you're excited. I know you love her. I know it's great, but do not make a woman the center of your life, because a woman doesn't want to be the center of your life. She wants you to be the center of your life. She wants to see you putting in work, making yourself better, working on yourself, having hobbies, having goals, having dreams, all of that. She does not want to see you only investing time and everything into her, because how is she going to benefit off that? What is she going to learn from you? What is she going to take away from you? How is she going to feel protected and like she can trust you if you're only focusing on her? That makes no sense. If you're not working on yourself and building yourself and you completely drop everything and all your responsibilities just because you want to be with that woman, she's going to stop liking you. You need to make her a priority, but don't make her the only priority. Make yourself a priority, make your hobbies a priority, other things that keep you going in your life. Because if you lose that woman, you're going to have nothing. So do not forget yourself while you're trying to navigate this new relationship with her. Hope that makes sense. People who use the term red flags are basically saying things are red flags because it's their preference or because they don't want certain things. If someone doesn't want kids, that's the red flag. No, sweetie, that is your red flag because you want kids. So basically you and them would not be compatible. Or if someone says, if someone likes to travel a lot, that's a red flag. No, sweetie, you don't like to travel a lot, or you have some sort of insecurity issue going on, so you don't want to be with someone who's traveled a lot. Basically, your red flags are not everyone else's red flags, and it just means that you're pointing out things of someone who would not be compatible with you. It doesn't mean that they would be a bad person. So we have got to stop using this whole red flag thing and actually just calling bad behavior out for what it is and not confusing it with likes and dislikes. Okay, thank you. Men, here are 3 things that you need to keep in mind when you go on your first date. Number 1, make sure that you dress well and you smell good. Okay, if you're working beforehand and you work like a construction job or something like that, make sure you go home and you shower, you put on some perfume, not too much because you don't want to overdo it, and make sure you smell good and you dress nicely. Number 2, don't put the focus on yourself during the date. Don't overshare about your traumas, about your problems, about your past relationships, about your ex, definitely not your ex, and make sure you try and make the conversation during the date about her, because psychology tells us that people usually feel like they've had a great conversation when the conversation was all about them them. So if you make her feel like the conversation's about her and you make her feel special, chances are she's gonna have a good impression of you and she's gonna wanna see you again. And number 3, pay good attention to your body language. You do not wanna come across as cocky, but you wanna come across as confident and dominant in how you're walking. Don't be awkward, don't be shy, make subtle hand movements, show gestures, be kind, open the door. Don't be weird, just be calm, put together, be confident in yourself. And I can guarantee that that is gonna be super attractive to her. Follow me for more advice. If you leave a good man to go and have a hoe face, don't you dare later on complain when you can't settle and find a good man. I can promise you one thing, and they are not gonna take your story and pretend like you've suddenly changed and you're suddenly gonna be a good woman for them. Good men know their value, good men know their worth, and you trying to pretend that it's okay to leave a man because you're feeling bored, because you wanna live life and you wanna have adventure, and not thinking it's gonna have any consequences is stupid. And men, if you've been left for a woman who wanted to go have a hoe face, then just know that the better will come along. And she did you a favor, because it's better she does that now than she does it 10 years down the line and you have to start again from scratch. So be grateful that that woman has left you. She's shown you her true colors, and you now have the opportunity of finding someone who is worthy of your time, your effort, your intention, and who's not going to hurt you. I have discovered the biggest thing that so many women miss in relationships when it comes to making a man happy is not just the affection part, is not just the listening to him part, is not just the letting him show you what he likes part. It's the making sure that you are loving him and you are caring for him in a way that he wants and needs to be loved and cared for. Because so oftentimes we as women do things a certain way because we believe that this is how he wants to be loved and cared for, because this is how I want to be loved and cared for. And we couldn't be further from the truth. A man doesn't want to be loved and cared for the same way you do. So understanding that and trying to fix it, trying to focus on him and trying to love him and ask him how he needs to be loved is the key in a relationship. Women and men are very different when it comes to expressing love. That is why you understanding how he expresses love and you also understanding what he needs from you, know that you love him, are very important to know. Men do have emotions, but they usually process their emotions internally, which means they're not going to be talking about how they're feeling, but they're going to internally process their emotions and their feelings, which is why they want peace, which is why they want a good listener, which is why they want a woman who they feel like they can trust and rely on. I often hear people say things like, oh, relationships are hard. Yes, relationships are hard. Anything worthwhile in life is going to be hard. And if you want something, but you give up on it, that just shows that you didn't want it enough. Because if you really, really want something and you can't live without it, and you realize that you can't live without it, you're going to do anything you can to have it. And if it still doesn't work out after you've given everything, then it wasn't supposed to be. But relationships take effort. Relationships take time. And if you want to have a good, healthy relationship with someone, you're going to have to struggle. You're going to have to go through problems. You're going to have to get to know each other in the most brutal, stupid, deepest, uncomfortable ways possible. And you're going to have to try every day to not be selfish. That is hard. That's actually harder than being single. But you know what? It's also much more rewarding than being single. Because in reality, you can always try again, unless of course, with very rare exceptions of course, and actually make it work if you want to. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I really believe that women are more selfish than men. And hear me out first. When I look at relationships, I usually see one thing happening. Women will leave the relationship because they feel bored, or they don't feel like it's gonna work, or they found someone better. They will leave out of selfish reasons. I usually never see men leave a relationship out of selfish reasons, very rarely, but usually they leave because they felt like they were disrespected too often, they felt like the woman didn't care about them, or most often they stay in a relationship for years and years and years just because they feel that duty and that honor to their wife, to their girlfriend, to their family, whatever it might be. So that is why I think women are more selfish than men. Women, we tend to think much more about our safety, our well-being, and what we need for ourselves. And I'm not saying there's something wrong with that, because we as women are more vulnerable than men and we are weaker. So of course we crave safety and we crave all of that. But at the same time, we tend to be more selfish when it comes to relationships. Not just that, but women are also more likely to hate people for no apparent reason. Men don't hold grudges the way women hold grudges. They make friends, and if they don't make friends with people, they'll fight each other out and then they'll just stop being friends with them. But they're not gonna hold grudges. Women can hold grudges against families, their friends, even their own kids for years. Think about it, that's crazy. I've never seen a man have that like a woman does. And that is why I think men can be better people in terms of personality than women. Let me hear your thoughts down below, I'd love to hear. Finding a good and healthy and stable relationship is not just about finding someone who you can live with, it's about finding someone who you truly deep down believe you cannot live without. Because if you don't believe that you will be fine without this person, that you don't need this person, and that this person is not that important to you, I can guarantee that if they are a good person for you, then you will at some point in your relationship still they'll get into a fight and you will end up losing them because you aren't focused on being in a relationship with them. And I'm not saying this to be toxic. I'm not saying that you should stay with someone if they're treating you badly. But what I'm saying is people give up so easily nowadays because they just don't think to themselves that they should be with this person more than they even admit. If you want a good relationship, you need to put in the work every single day. And some days it's gonna be hard. Some days you're not gonna wanna wake up and be selfless and put them first. Some days you're gonna wake up and you're gonna wanna do what you wanna do. Some days you're not gonna feel like respecting them. Some days you're not even gonna feel in love with them. But that is all part of being in a long-term committed relationship. You either do it and you stick through it and you realize and understand that it's gonna be like that with anyone you ever get together with, or you give up and understand also by doing that you're gonna have to do all that again with a new person. And by the way, a few months in, you're gonna have the same struggle. First of all, you're not gonna wanna be alone for long term because we are social creatures and we want and need a partner. And second of all, you will then realize that it's gonna be like that with everyone. So you either make it work or you don't. But if you give up, it'll never work.